So I'm going to do this video a little differently than I usually do. Usually I script these out very precisely, but this one I am telling you a true story of what happened to me, so I'm just going to tell it. The result may be a lot of very choppy, awkward edits where I cut myself off in the middle of it, but I think it's going to be worth it. This is the true story of how I had years of writer's block and how I got out of it. This was my whole identity from very young. I was the kid who was going to be a writer, and this got me through a lot of rough times. I had horrible anxiety as a child and as an adult, and being a writer, working on writing, thinking I was going to be a writer, got me through a lot. And I worked on it. In high school, I wrote plays, I acted in them, I wrote short stories, I made short films. But some ominous foreshadowing here. Anytime I tried to do anything big or ambitious, I could not finish it. And also, I set myself a pretty high bar for acceptable work conditions. As far as I was concerned, I could only do serious writing if I had the entire day free with no homework and no interruptions. So I had all these grand projects that were going to make me the youngest, rich, famous celebrity writer, but I never actually got to them because I didn't have enough vacation time. So I did not want to go to college because, as far as I was concerned, it was simply getting in the way of me becoming the youngest, richest, most famous celebrity writer in history. So I said, I'll give it a year, and that year was fine, but all during it, I'm thinking, this is keeping me from becoming a full-time, rich, successful writer. I can't write while I'm here in college. So the summer between freshman year and sophomore year, I can't write because I know that I'm going to have to go back to college. So even though I have months off, I'm thinking, I can't write because I know that I'm going to have to stop writing. So I obviously can't do it now. I have to wait until I have nothing to do except be a writer. And by the time sophomore year begins, I am cracking up. Okay, let's pause here and take a quick survey of my actual situation. I am taking 4 classes, but one of them is a playwriting class, so in theory, it's what I want to do. So I'm really taking 3 classes, 2 of which are English or art history. I am taking them basically pass-fail because I get grades, but I don't care because I'm not going to graduate school. So it doesn't matter as long as they don't throw me out. I am living in a single room. I have a dining hall to serve me all my meals. I cannot get a better living situation for writing than this, and I cannot write. Okay, I want to get into something, which is, what does that mean? I can't write. I was writing a play for my playwriting class. The beginning of the play, there's 2 people on stage, one of whom is going to offer the other one some wine. I could not think of a line. True story. Actually, what happened was I thought of too many lines. I thought, does he say, do you want some wine? Want some wine? Would you like to have some wine? How about some wine? Wine? I could not choose between do you want some wine or have a little wine. So I didn't write anything for weeks and months. And it felt really, really important. Like I could not make this decision. So the thing you have to understand here is it does not feel like fear. It feels like there's something external getting in your way. Or it feels like if you could just do this other thing, it would be fine. Or it just feels like everything is distracting and irritating and stopping you from working. There's something out there stopping you. I became convinced that the external thing that was keeping me from writing was school. School was the thing that made it so that I couldn't decide between wine and have some wine. And this was agonizing to come to this decision, but it was very clear. I talked to my parents and I said to them, I know what I want to do with my life. I want to get to it. This school stuff is getting in my way. You are paying a lot of money for this school. What if you just took the money that you're giving to the school and gave it to me so that I could live in an apartment and be a writer and make my place in the world? They said no to that plan. But they did say, if you're that unhappy and you want to come home and try and write, you can do that. You can live at home and be a writer. Just a quick note for any parents of struggling artists who are out there right now listening to this. If you can support them, do it. Let them make their mistakes. They will figure it out. They will realize that it was not school that was keeping them from writing, and it will be okay. If at all possible, support your struggling artist child. Okay, so you could not get more privileged than I was at this moment. And I was talented, and I was hardworking, and I was determined, and I could not write. But here's the thing, it does not feel like fear. It feels like I just need to do this one thing and then I will be able to write. I just need to read this book that's kind of like what I'm writing. I just need to get this one record to listen to so that I can play it while I'm writing. I just have to figure out a better project than the one I'm doing. This one feels wrong. I need to work on this other project. Or I was living in a basement, right? There's no windows. I can't write in a basement. So, and remember, this is a true, sadly, true story. I went to my parents and I said, I can't write in this basement. I have to get this first draft done. Will you pay for a hotel room? A hotel room in the same city I lived in so that I could go there, lock myself in for 3 days and pound out this first draft. And they said, okay, reluctantly at this point, but sure. Possibly because I convinced them, possibly because they felt sorry for me. I don't know. All I know is I packed up my typewriter and I went across town and checked into a hotel. And I realized within an hour, I am out of my mind. This is the stupidest thing I have ever done. It does not matter if I am in the hotel room or not. This is rock bottom in many ways. My writer's rock bottom of the most ridiculous, desperate refusal to understand that I am afraid to write. I check out of the hotel. I've been there maybe 2 hours. I go home. I know something is wrong. I know that there is something about me that is keeping me from writing, but I cannot figure out what to do about it. So I went back to college. I figured gives me 3 years where I don't have to deal with real life and maybe I can get a handle on what is going on with me and the writing. I have been an office temp for most of 6 years. I am going to be a full-time professional writer, so I will not take any kind of serious job. I try to write before work, like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then when I'm at other people's desks, if there's a lull in the typing and filing. This is the hellish opposite of having all day free to write. I did get a screenplay written. It got me an agent. I did scrounge up a few indie film writing jobs that paid me enough to take a month or 2 off to do them. Because the thing is, I like writing. I'm good at it. It's natural to me. I have fun. I've been getting to that place mostly by tricking myself, by switching projects and then riding the rush of that, where I'm thinking, oh, this is going to make me rich and famous. But the dark side of that is you're still thinking, I need something to make me rich and famous. I think there are really just 3 creative fears. Someone is going to judge you. It won't come out like it is in your head, and you're not going to be what the world told us a writer was. A celebrated person who has all day free and pays the rent by being interesting and creative and affecting people. So I'm going to tell you the secrets that defuse those fears. Everything you write will be judged. It will never come out like it is in your head. Very few writers make a full-time living from writing, and maybe 1% of screenwriters get to write whatever they want. Everything you fear as a writer is going to happen to you. That's the funny thing about this story. Everything I was afraid of had already happened. Almost everything that we fear creatively is the loss of an imaginary future. And if we can just let go of that, we can create, which is the thing we wanted to do in the first place and our best shot at getting any kind of future. The things that make someone successful are not within their control. The only thing within our control took me 15 years to discover. This is how I discovered it. So I was trying to write a novel. I'm an office temp, carrying my novel around as loose pages and note cards in a briefcase, and whenever I had a moment, I would try and write. And the scene I was trying to write was the main character had just discovered a dead body in this apartment, and he had run outside and going to the payphone because it was before cell phones existed. So it was a very small moment. Simply the character runs to a payphone in the rain. He has to call the police, and he has to basically make a fool of himself so they don't believe him. And I realized that I had to figure out what happens in this one moment of this character's life as he is trying to accomplish this one simple task. Just details. What's it like to be in a phone booth in the rain? What's it like to be this person? He's broke, he's got holes in his shoes with cardboard, and so the rainwater is coming through. And what's it like to try and explain to the police this bizarre situation that he's gotten himself into? And so all of these things come together into this one little moment full of feelings and details, and the words came out as they should. And it's not like this hasn't happened before. I've been writing for 15 years now, but it's been such a difficult, painful struggle. And all of a sudden, as I'm writing this scene, I think, oh, this is how you write. You figure out the moment and you ask yourself questions. You write that one sentence, that one line, that one paragraph. You make that one moment happen in words. And then you do it again. This one intimate, microscopic process, focusing on one moment, living in one moment and turning it into words, that's the thing that will save you. Everything else, career planning and analyzing the greats and having the greatest setup, all of that is lovely if you are doing this one thing. It's not like in the movies where you get an insight and you see the truth and all of a sudden you're an entirely different person and all your problems go away. It's more like you're the exact same person who has the exact same problems. You just have this one useful bit of information to help you in the fight. It's so dumb. It's so obvious. It's so simple, but it's not easy. This is how you write. You figure out the moment and you ask yourself questions. You write that one sentence, that one line, that one paragraph. You make that one moment happen in words. And then you do it again. All right, that's enough for now. Go write something. If you liked this video, please click like. It makes a difference. Likewise, subscribe. There's more coming. I really want to hear what you guys think about this. Please comment, question, ask me stuff, tell me stuff. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, go to writingforscreens.com. That's it. So long until next time. Or I just need to, okay, just, I figured, so, yeah,